are all of you today? Let's do this. Hey, welcome to the Death of a Dream podcast. If you have dreams and they died, but you want some more, this is where you need to be. This is a show about, never-ending growth, never-ending seekness, the never-ending seeking of who you are and how you just continue to grow. And really, I'm the communicator of all of this. But at the end of the day, this is a journal. This is a journey. This is me. Yikes. And some of you will decide that that's not something that you want. Some of you will decide that this is something that you want. And I am so here for those people. And I'm here for the people who this isn't. Because even if you're in a place where you can decide that this isn't for you or you aren't ready for this, you're already so much closer to really living the life according to your terms. You actually have to have some. And so being able to decide, nope, this girl's crazy, means that you have terms and you have established boundaries for how you want to live your life. And that's all that I can ask for you. Come on, right? Just being able to make a decision of what is or isn't for you. Here for it. Hi, great to see ya. Can't wait for you to live your life and to establish your own terms and to figure out what you even want. Great. Okay, let's go ahead and ground ourselves in our greatness. My great thing. Oh, by the way, child slept until after I was done with this podcast and a little bit beyond. So and so far it worked again tonight. We're going to go ahead and knock on all the wood that is existent in this house. This desk, I don't even know if this desk is real wood, so I'm going to reach. Okay, I know that this house has real wood in it, and I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that. Okay, but my great thing from yesterday, gosh, what was yesterday? What did we even do? I think it was just slowing down. I had been trying to psych myself up and into getting things done on my checklist, and it seemed very frantic when I was trying to slide it into Wednesday. And I just had this grader call and I told this to my husband. I'm I feel really called to be here and kind of straighten up the things here, finish all the things here, and not be able to enjoy and be fully present in something that I really enjoy, because I do really enjoy finding people the right gifts. And that takes a whole lot of actually being there and being able to think about what they want and what they maybe need. And so I didn't want to go into that feeling called back here to I got to do laundry and I got to do this and I don't have the whole weekend. And so how am I going to structure that? And the excitement, my love for shopping, for gift buying, for being out of my house for 2 seconds, really was calling me hard. Hannah, no, just shift through that discomfort. Just go. You want to do this. Go. This is going to be fun. This is exciting. We haven't had a lot of fun or exciting things in a while. Go, run. But I could feel this call to stay here and take care of the things that were going to pull my presence. Right? Hey, come on. Intention 2020. I don't know. Okay. And so I pulled back and I stayed home, and I went ahead and just went with myself. What do you want to do? You have time. There's no reason to force this on this day if it's not feeling aligned, if you're not feeling like you're going to be able to be present there. So pause. It's okay. So yesterday, spent the morning, got in a good flow, got all of my assets produced and out, and then just kind of chilled and cleaned and took care of things. And, today I'm feeling a better energy towards getting to go do that, towards like the reward of that. But I feel like if I had pressed forward, it probably would have gotten out of control quickly, because I was really just acting out of like that want to escape, that want to go do something that was going to make me feel really good really quickly and as quickly as possible. And so hopefully today, as I venture into this space, hopefully I will find presence and just beauty and love and all the things that I need and want. And like, I'm calling that in, like, give me that moment, give me that experience. I did what was asked of me. Stay home, take care of things, balance the energy. The energy's not right to go explore and do those things. So whatever the reason, we'll find out today or tomorrow or 10 years from now, we'll know. And, in my life, I have found that a majority of my adult life and child life, as if they aren't the same thing, I just did a whole lot of not listening. And so I'm trying to, mostly right now, understand what it's like to listen to myself first. And that took a whole lot of just removal of everyone else's voice, because I couldn't even figure out how to navigate my own energies. I couldn't figure out how to navigate my own voice, like, right? And so now I feel like I can hear her, and we're starting to like add in other voices because of the comfort level that has been reached now with the navigating of my own self first, period. Okay, geez, that's a great thing. How do you know how to do that? I don't know. You just keep going, keep finding, keep moving, keep listening. You'll know. I can't explain it any other way. But if you're really listening, you'll know. You'll know when it's time to go. You'll know when it's time to leave any given moment. And you can ask. You can ask for very specific signs, and they will probably be given to you if you ask. I don't even ask nicely. I mean, I'm trying, but sometimes I'm just like, come on already. Give me something. Okay. That's my great thing. Go ahead today, every day, not even a joke. Do it every day. Ground yourself in your greatness. Write it in a journal. Say it out loud. Do a little dance when you do it. Just make sure that, you really ground yourself in how amazing you are. That practice alone will start to just, even if you did nothing else, will start to shift this belief that we all get into in life that we aren't the greatest thing that's ever walked this planet, which is false. You are so beautifully called here to live, to work, to breathe, to dance, to do whatever it is you're called to do. And I think we kind of lose the allure of ourselves somewhere. And so this really is the practice of calling ourselves back to our greatness, to the thing that we are called to do here. And I don't know what that is for you. I don't really even know what that is for me, but I know we can't get there without practicing the idea that we are. And so that's why we do it every day. Just saying, okay, it's important. Okay, go ahead, do it. I practice it with, and it can range. I practice it with my 7 and 4-year-old, right? We practice it. Because imagine what that's going to do to their confidence if they're used to owning that. I mean, come on. Hopefully, women's empowerment has moved from the place that it's in now by the time they're of age, so that people understand how to interpret a strong woman. Because if not, certainly they're going to just have to kick down doors, and hopefully they'll be confident enough to do so. Okay. Boom. Let's go ahead and dive in today. Today we're really thinking about weaknesses. And weakness, I think it should have a different name, quite honestly, because weakness and strength. And I saw someone share yesterday, or I've been seeing this come up more and more, of like, stop asking what I did in 2020. Like, right? Because a lot of us, 2020 was freaking heavy. It's not any lighter. Okay. Like, great. We have a vaccine. Still heavy. Still being impacted. The impacts are not lost on anyone. And so I've been seeing this kind of shared of like, stop it. Stop. Some of us just sat in misery, sat in a lot of weakness. And, let's see, as someone who's experienced probably their weakest season of their life, like, I completely willingly stripped myself of all identity. I had no semblance of an idea of how jarring that would be. I kind of just thought, oh my gosh, it's perfect. All the signs are pointing to yes and go. And so, like, this is the time. What I didn't realize going through that in that moment was that this was called to be a time of weakness and silence. And no matter how much I spun and tried, there was no noise being called back in. And it's funny because, I left that job to start building this empire, to start doing this work that I feel very called to do. And nothing was working. Nothing was available. That's kind of the funny thing, is like, duh, obviously it's a pandemic, but I don't think that I would have been called here if I wasn't supposed to experience the lows of that, and very openly and very outwardly. It's all supposed to play into how this is supposed to work. And I don't know. I had just spent so much of my life running from weaknesses, telling myself that weaknesses have no place here, telling myself that being weak doesn't come with strengths. You're strong, you're strong, you're strong, posting all the stupid ass quotes, that were going to just force me through this moment, that were going to call me to rise, reading the books that were just like, rise up, you got this, you're stronger than this, just make a schedule, you can do this, don't be weak, you're strong, come on. Let's see, what else would they say? All the things, right? Going to workout classes where it's like, you're strong, you have no weakness, you're not. And I don't know, maybe I had just lived in that world for so long, and I was so high touch in that world. Not only was I living and being influenced by that world of like, there are no weaknesses, you're good, you can power through anything, and never allowing myself time to sit with the fact that, like, I exist on both ends of the freaking spectrum. Like, I'm very strong, yes, but I'm also very weak and very sad and very vulnerable and very, like, whole. I'm a whole freaking person. And continuing to press the gas pedal down past this moment, down past my lows, wasn't effective. It would be effective for a very short amount of time, and then I would always end up back in the same low, sad place. I could only trick myself for so long. And so this season, I know, was called for a very specific reason. It really was just meant for me to sit in stillness. And so the people who are sharing those memes or those quotes or those things that are saying, like, Don't ask me what I did. I did nothing. I was sad. I did read a book or I didn't read a book, but like whatever I felt, like that's all that was supposed to happen. This season sometimes for people of like rest, and we heard Alyssa speak to it a couple weeks ago. Sometimes the winter leads to beautiful growth, but we have to experience the winter. Right? And so a lot of people are like calling people out. What did you do? What did you do? There was no reason to sit through it. Like there was a reason to sit through it if you were called to do that. And there are people in different ends of the spectrum. For some people, it was like this very amazing moment of like spring and birth and growth. And they could grow something in the pandemic, but like everybody is where they're supposed to be. And I don't think that it's really fair to continue calling people out for their lack of movement. Like, I think we could probably get a lot more movement from people if we just loved and appreciated what they're being called to do, instead of constantly calling them back to our schedules or our timelines of what this is supposed to look like. And this podcast didn't start as that. Like it very much started in the place of like, boo, let's go. Let's get through this. Let's move. Let's pause. If you've listened to the beginning podcast, I think it would probably be laughable at this point, because the person that I was speaking to, that I wanted to be, is very different from the person that I am today. And I think that that's just a true commitment to what growing through something looks like. Like, I don't know. I just started knowing that I had no dreams, knowing that I had this like wealth of experience, knowing that I had really fast forwarded through my life and I was really tired of it, And now in this season of very quietness, that doesn't make any sense, but now in this season of like silence, the season of no growth, but the most growth, like being able to process and understand that you are weak and strong and not fast forward through that fact, being able to fully acknowledge both ends of that spectrum makes you stronger. Because you can continue to fast forward through it, to act like it's never going to catch you, to read quotes and books that call you out, that push you forward, and like that's a beautiful thing. But eventually, if you don't slow down and remedy this fact, your body will shut you down. Whether you want to experience the silence or not. Hey, you heard it here first, right? Remember when I was like, October, we're moving. This is it. This is going to be it. And then my body just said, no, sister, it's really not. And you can go ahead and try to outrun us, but there's still season of silence here, right? And that looked like a whole lot of COVID, a whole lot of it out of nowhere. Like if anyone was going to get COVID, it certainly wasn't going to be me. I barely leave this office, for goodness sakes. Like, right? But that's the thing. That's the beauty of it. I was trying to fast forward again, and my body was like, nope, you haven't experienced, you think that you've experienced the lows and you haven't yet. And so now, I don't know. I don't know where we keep going. I don't know when this season's going to be over, but I've learned through a lot of pain and struggling and attempts to escape that the timeline isn't really mine to have. The world, the energies, they'll feed it to you. I know that sounds super hippie. I love it, kind of. I absolutely love it. So hippie, dippy, flippy, but it's so freaking true that if I don't tell you it, I don't know. I can't explain it any other way. So, you are weak. But he is strong. Yes, Jesus loves me. Right? But like every single book calls us to have weakness, to have winters, to have these moments where we just listen. And so many of our lives are built around never experiencing, always kind of levitating over weakness as if it doesn't exist. And in order to levitate, you just have to keep moving, and that pace eventually will wear you down until it wears you out, and it will show up in some sort of physical manifestation that does not allow you to move. And when you experience that moment, take that time to listen and keep listening. And just when you feel tired of listening and you feel like you want to just blast past this and move because we've been uncomfortable, listen some more, right? And you never really know. You don't know how long that season is going to be. Like, gosh, I was wishing that my season would have ended, somewhere around the time that I was making $0 and it was a pandemic and it just would have been nice. But I think there's so much beauty in this moment. Does building a business during a pandemic make any sense at all? No, maybe not. But I was still called to do it. And I don't think that I was called to do it with the intent of building a business in that moment. I think I was called to do it to experience my own lowness so that I could fully experience my own fullness, right? My own happiness. And I got to experience that last week, finally feeling what I had wanted to feel was enough of a gift to just keep that motion moving forward. And I think it's continuing to explore and test and then come back and understand that you're never gonna know, right? You're not gonna know unless you start trying. So just start trying a lot of things. And then on the other side of trying, listen, did that feel right? Listen, over the course of this, I would say that, I started a clothing store. I started to want to coach. I attempted to do master classes. I wrote some really bad, weird children's books that certainly no one would read. I wrote blogs about insane things. It's just the continuance to throw the spaghetti noodle against the wall and see what sticks. And then if it doesn't, or it doesn't feel good, or it doesn't feel right, do not test these things on what was successful and what wasn't. We have to get out of the success track, okay? What feels good and right and whole? Okay, success is not the way to measure things, because only following success and not following wholeness will lead you right back to this place, right? And so I think that's really been the call to silence, has been I wanted to keep fast forwarding. I wanted to just make money and find success again very quickly. Obviously, we all do if we step out and jump into entrepreneurship. But I think the silence was called back in for me to finally get to this place where I just find the things that stuck versus find the things that led to success. And I think if I had been given success early enough on, I probably would have stopped this and went all into something else. And maybe the lowness, my hope is that the lowness of this work is what saves somebody someday. If if you've transitioned out of something, if you find yourself super low and not knowing how to like just live without a full inbox, like that has been the hardest kind of ego check of all. And if you can live through your own weakness, right? If you can fully allow yourself to experience that, to feel sad and burn out, and like maybe you don't do a podcast about it, but maybe you write about it, or maybe you do a podcast about it, but like this, the talking of this, the reliving, the experiencing it broader, talking through it is super therapeutic, because I don't know, not being able to express and talk through what's going on is a really hard place to sit when you're experiencing this lowness. And there is an instant moment where the people who love you, even if you're talking to them about it, want to come save you or want you to save yourself, because we don't want anybody to hurt. We don't want anybody to feel low. And so don't mistake their like, you got this, come on, for your own voice for what you need, right? Because they want what's best for you, duh. And what's best for you doesn't always align with what they want. They just don't want you to hurt. And sometimes you have to feel that hurt, and not allow yourself to fast forward through it. And that's like a very intentional journey. It takes a lot of focus on what it is that you want, of focus on knowing that on the other side of this low, there will eventually be a high, but you don't know how long that's going to take, right? And that's a tough thing to intentionally commit to, right? But here's the thing. Did we get anywhere worth going fast forwarding through it? No. And will we ever get there if we don't begin to acknowledge like your response to anything is right, and it's yours, and it's true, and it's whole. Okay? Where we go wrong is thinking that it's wrong and then just like masking it and saying, no, come on, right? We should be better than this. Suck it up, right? That's the main one. Suck it up. You got this. Feel better. Be stronger. Don't be weak. Don't be sad for too long. It makes us all uncomfortable. Be happy. Like sometimes you have to just experience the sadness. And people are going to want, for their own comfort, they're going to want you to transition out of that. And you can, but you have to commit to doing it on your own pace. So I think the moral of the story today is like, allow yourself to be weak. That's where you find the people that you need. That's how you figure out where you want to go from here. But moving past that, not allowing yourself to feel that, not allowing yourself to ever be weak, is like some sort of superhero status that really none of us can keep up. Eventually it will catch up. Let me say that again. Eventually it will catch up. You have to allow yourself break and room to breathe. You do not have to keep fast forwarding as if you're superhuman. Allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to catch back up. Allow yourself to be weak. As always, you're smart, you're strong, you're beautiful. What are you going to do? Change the world.